moving right along in my exploration of Gloomhaven. So far, I've had a very, very painful time selecting which characters I wanted to play. Unlike Dungeon Degenerates, which has a whole bunch with the expansions of characters available, here I've only got 6 to look at. But I had to look at these decks and consider them kind of, in light of each other and where the synergies might lie. I always try to do things like that to improve my chances as best as I can. I opened up the Brute and the Tinkerer first. And I'm like, oh, these are both kind of good. And, I don't see any real reliance there. But then I opened up the Spellweaver here. I'm like, she's too weak. Only has 6 hit points to begin with at first level. So I was a little worried about her and put her aside and didn't really think about her. But as I opened up all the rest, I had looked at her ability cards, whatever, and said, I really like some of these. They're very powerful, but they rely on, other colors and everything. And as I began to think about it, I realized this Craghart dude, he creates color. The Tinkerer, to a lesser extent. So I settled on this. The first one, the Brute, he might be the most powerful character in the game in terms of his cards for a standalone character. But for someone who, is interacting with the other characters, I felt like there was more advantage to using this set. I'm only using 3. That was a hard decision. I thought about throwing the Brute in just because he is very potent as a 4th character. That ups the difficulty, however, and not just in terms of the difficulty of the monsters I'm facing, which I'd be fine with, but also it's going to up the difficulty of being able to play. I would have liked to have played with 2 characters to begin with, just because I think there's going to be, I remember this having something of that Mage Knight-y feel, where you have to kind of plot out your turns and figure things out, and you have to be real careful that you're not going to run out of deck and stuff like that. I'll go over what my character decks are after I assemble those a little better. Right now, I'm at the start of the campaign. I got my little sticker for this, which I haven't actually found out about yet, but I also have the militaristic city-state. What's kind of cool is I'll be able to peel these off rather than just layer on top of each other, I guess. I don't know. Okay. And I've dug out the stuff I need for the first scenario, I think, for the most part. There might be some counters that I don't know quite what they're for yet, that weren't in the initial set of things, but are like, based on summoned critters and stuff, where I'll have to pause and peel things out. It's a pain in the ass. All these damn things, eventually I'll get them sorted in some way that they're a little bit more usable. One thing to note, though, in this first scenario is it uses up all of the bandit soldiers in the first room. And I know they're, maybe because I cheated, but it's hard not to, because the setup's right here. It's hard not to notice that there will be more bandits further in. There are bandit archers in the next 2 rooms, but it might behoove me, and I might think of this anyway. If there are a bunch of bandit warriors out here, instead of killing them if I open the door, I might face less, And that might be the case if I get through here too when I hit that. But that's not really the strategy at this moment. The strategy at this moment is pick my deck, buy items, and have a city event if I want it, and then have my road event. And then I get to deal with this. So that's kind of where I am right now. These cards are character bonus cards that get added from the perks. I think I knew that when I first read the rules, but I didn't really understand that right away. I could see people trying to play with just these decks. They're very good. And that would screw everything up. No, you use a standardized deck at the beginning of play, and it's not until you start improving it that your modifier cards start improving. And then I've got the monster modifier deck here. I've got these guys set up here where I can get a hold of them pretty easily. Oh, I also have to draw per character why they're adventuring, and I get 2 draws, and I get to discard one, I believe, which is, I think, the same mechanism is used for the, in this particular adventure, what's your goal, which is kind of a gamey mechanism, to tell you the truth. I mean, but it'll be like, what gets your jollies for that. I also have to find the rest of the fucking, or the rest of the monsters. I didn't grab the skeletons, which I'm gonna need. But otherwise, I got these things set up. I'm going to be going at level 1, which is normal difficulty. I figure, I don't want to bonus myself too much, but with the -1 difficulty or whatever. And, the difficulty level you play at affects the rewards you get, so it has some effect. I don't know why I have this here, but just in case I want to know what letters are or something. And I've started sorting out, these are the effect counters, monies, and damage counters for the monsters. You keep track of damage in the characters with these little things, which remind me of things that I found that I had for the supermarket. All right, onward. But it was really, really tough to decide on characters, and I found that it was much, much simpler. Like, the process that I did for Dungeon Degenerates was, yes, I had played a little bit more of it already, but basically I went through the set and said, okay, I want people who generate experience points. I had that in mind here. You get experience points off these little things, and reusable cards that generate experience points seem like a great idea. But on the other hand, I'm not as sure that I can win the battles either. So, I wanted to make sure I had that synergy going and everything. And it felt more like the experience points thing was something that I could arrange through my deck. Most of the decks have the capacity for doing that. I didn't analyze the decks terribly much. Beyond that, I'm assuming they're somewhat standard. There are some misprints and some errata. There's actually quite a bit of errata for the game as a whole, which is going to be kind of a nightmare. One reason I probably shouldn't have gotten the first printing, especially since I paid just as much, basically, as the second. Although I did get some bonuses out of that. Like I said, the seller was very nice. Later on, he donated me a game as well that I was bidding in an auction, which was very cool. All right. He's someone I've dealt with before, too. So, onward and upward, I guess. I start the process. And one of the things I have to think about is, what items do I want to buy? I have $30 for each character. Well, there are useful things to throw in for the characters. And I probably want to improve my characters as much as possible at this point and actually use that money. To say, compared to like in a role-playing game, where yes, you do a lot of, a lot of thinking about your character maybe outside of just how you can make them effective enough that they can be useful or whatever. But I mean, in terms of like figuring out what your abilities are and everything, sure. At least in old school D&D, that was trivial. You roll, at first level, you roll some dice, you see what you got, you make a pick of class, and maybe you pick a spell or something. But this is much, much more complicated because of the deck, having to build your own little deck to a limited extent, or at least a hand of cards that you're going to have available to you. Having to figure out, the equipment and everything that works with it. You're not so much thinking in terms of, what suits the character well and everything. You're more min-maxing the same way that, same thing with Dungeon Degenerates, to tell you the truth. But in Dungeon Degenerates, you did that in the game. Now, it was a painful break in the game, I have to say, whenever you did a rest action in a town or whatever and had enough money or had enough experience, mainly, to buy a skill. Usually the items weren't really worth buying there. I found the money, it seemed to have some other better use. I don't remember what. Oh yeah, investing in the towns. But yeah, in this, I'm facing something new again. Now, yes, I've played a battle scenario with one character. I felt kind of lost during it because I didn't really understand it all that well. At least with Dungeon Degenerates, I'd played it a couple times before I videoed it, including with my wife. But with this, I feel like I'm kind of walking into it in the dark. And it's not an easy game to pick up. It's one of the things that makes the legacy aspect of it kind of annoying, because you could very easily screw up, like, say using this deck instead of the other, and saying, wow, this is a really easy game, what's up with this? Getting fairly deep into it, and now you can't reverse the problem because you've got these stupid stickers that don't come off. At least if I screw up too much, I could actually start over, I hope. All right. Yeah, I'm dragging my feet. Okay, now for my character choices, I've set the decks up. I don't think anybody's using just the ones, which is probably a mistake. The X cards are a little bit more complicated to use, but I have played once. I'm used to playing games of kind of this nature, so I think I can probably get away with using them. So I made some decisions on that. What I was mistaken about is the X has nothing to do with your level. It's just a set of cards available to you at level 1 for the most part that are a little bit more complicated to use. I've shuffled up my randomizer decks, not the monster one yet. And I bought items. I bought what they suggested, which for him, the Eagle Eye goggles. During an attack, gain advantage on the entire attack action. He has some multi-hit attacks, and it looks like what he's going with. To some extent, I like to kind of do things, with a certain, I don't want to use the word thematic, I never do, with an association to the character, and this character is shown wearing those, so, this guy, he chose the Boots of Striding. He doesn't have a lot of movement. This might help him get over an early movement. And then he can pick one power potion. Well, we have a lot of healing in the Tinker. And there's healing in the other characters as well, so I didn't want to go with healing. The power potion adds to your attacks. This is useful if you attack a lot of people at once, which he's got the same thing, basically. Except that's more reusable. And then for this, they suggested the Cloak of Invisibility, and it looks like she's kind of wearing that. So, and Minor Power Potion as well, with a lot of area attack spells. Again, by not choosing the ones, these might not be as good a choice as they would be otherwise, but whatever. And then I go to, hey, let's draw those initial cards. Now, I'm not I'm not committed to using these yet, because they, I could have some event or something that makes it more valuable for me to use a different card to replace a card from my deck or something. But this is what I'm kind of planning on. And the Tinker got a couple of weird ones. Piety in all things. Okay, great. He wants to donate a ton of gold to the Sanctuary in Great Oak. Well, that's kind of cool because it can give me the double damage or whatever. Bless cards, but I'm not really a damage-dealing character for the most part. I don't know if I have one. The Spellweaver is. She doesn't have a lot of cards, but I'm counting on the Tinker to be able to regenerate her cards a little bit. The other choice is 15 check marks from completed battle goals. I think I'm going to go with this one. Because he's kind of more of a utility character, and I think he'll have an easier time making some of these work. Not positive. I'll look at the next couple, come back. Skulls are interesting. Both of them look a little easier maybe to me. Here it's collect 2 of most of the items, 3 hand items and 4 small items. I've already picked up some of that, but this is a lot of overage, and it means that I'm going to have things that I'm going to be hauling around a lot of crap and basically have spent a lot of money that's not going to help me in fighting. On the other hand, this one says complete 6 side scenarios. Those sound like good ideas to do, so I'm going to go with that. It has some interesting options too. I like the Fall of Man one just by name, and it seems to fit her more. She has to find a clue about what happened to whatever race came before. Complete 2 scenarios in the Lingering Swamp, then unlike Fading Lighthouse, and follow it to conclusion. That sounds very nice and specific. The other one's this Eternal Wanderer, complete 15 different scenarios. I think I'm kind of interested in doing this one. I don't know what the symbol's going to mean, but this one just appeals to me more. And what I'm doing with these is I'm tucking them down here. They're not something I'm going to have to deal with in a long time. I'll be keeping track of them on the notes as I start heading towards them, but at this point in the game, I'm nowhere near those. Well, get the chance for a city event. Let's take it. So I come over here and I pull a city card and I read it, if I can. I'm having a lot of trouble with my eyes recently, and it's really, really difficult distinguishing the pieces that I need for the scenario. So for example, these, I'm not sure these are the right traps for it, but, you know, they'll work. There's a lot of, okay, while enjoying your customary post-adventure drink at the Sleeping Lion, you notice something weird going on with the lamps in the bar. Oh, it's moths! But your first thought is that it's your imagination, but after staring at the lamps intently, you see that they are flickering in and out. Yes, it is. Tech lamps, as opposed to normal gas-burning ones, have been known to be a bit unreliable. As if on cue, the lamps suddenly go out completely, leaving the room pitch black. I can offer to fix the lamps. It shouldn't be too hard with a bit of technical know-how. Oh, I bet you he can do it. Or take the opportunity to steal some valuables. Nobody's really a thief. Let's offer to fix. Okay, it's got a cog on it, which probably means he's bonused. You quickly identify the source of the problem? No. I did not have any of these symbols, so I probably did the right thing. The source of the problem is some frayed wiring in the kitchen, and have it replaced in no time. The proprietor seems very impressed by your work and gives you free drinks all around in your name. Gain 2 reputation. Now that's not per player, it's for the party. Otherwise, if you're not cog dude, you fumble around and you screw up, and the proprietor just sends out for someone else. So, yeah, something cool happened here. The thieving might have been good if I had a thief character, but I made the right choice in terms of, hey, do I have the character who can do this? I didn't realize that's what the cards were going to be like. Now, no matter what, I'm supposed to destroy this card. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't have bought the stickers if I was going to start destroying the game. To me, it seems a little ridiculous to spend, well over $100 on a game that you're going to only play once, and I certainly wouldn't do it for something solo. I intend to try to get some of my money's worth out of this. We're on our way to the location. Now, I could read you the little Black Barrow intro here. Whatever your reasons for coming, thief has taken some important documents. Find out where it is, and that's where we got this and this from. And then we'll hit the intro for the actual Barrow when we bust it in. But we're hunting some thief who has something important. We don't know what that important thing is. It's a rich bitch who has, doesn't seem to care about much except getting what's hers back. Whatever. So we'll head there. And that will be a road adventure. And these have been shuffled already. You see a lone wagon. I think I did this one. Off to the side of the road ahead. Maybe not. You approach cautiously as you near a jovial man with a wide hat. Waves at you. Ho there, I don't suppose you have any expertise in fixing a broken axle. The road wasn't even that bumpy, and then bam! Just split in half. I have to have all these goods up north in 2 days, and I'm at a loss how to get myself out of this pickle. I can attempt to help him with his axle or tie him up and take all his goods. Well, again, I've got a tinker. Yes, we could probably beat him up, but let's try to help him. We're good people. And hey, two characters can do this. The man talks the whole way through the process, but after an hour or so, the axle's repaired, and the man leaves you in a radiant mood, bestowing blessings upon you. All will start the scenario with bless and get a reputation. Otherwise, nothing happens. Now, I've got the reputation marked on here. I'll just move that up to +3, which actually gets us to a point where items from the shop will cost $1 less. And all these decks have to be reshuffled with a bless marker in them. That gives me an extra bonus. You know, I don't know how much help that is because none of my characters are really big damage dealers. The Brute would love this, but it can't be bad. Kind of funny, and I assume the prototypes were all done on paper. That so much of the game is tracked on paper, you know, but we didn't decide to do the board on paper, you know, where you could have like marked what things you went to or whatever. There's no real reason for that as far as I can tell. I know the Chickie has to do adventures down in here. But other than that, you know, a paper map would give you just as much information as that, as this seems to. So I don't really know how much value there is. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do with the stickers as I explore things. Do I really want to leave them on the map? Does that make sense? Or are they done and now I can remove them? Again, that's the removable sticker side of things. But, you know, it kind of makes more sense to have them as adventures that are available. And you're supposed to kind of X through or something the ones that you've already been through. Now, again, this thing has its own sheet to record all that crap that you've been through, which, you know, in a way just makes more sense. I don't know. All right, well, we're ready to finish the setup. These guys get to come busting in through the door, and we can read some words. We only read up to here because this is once we go through this door. The hill's easy enough to find. Small overgrown entrance. As you descend, you contemplate what kind of thieves would make their camp in such a horrid place. And you get your answer. A rough group of cutthroats who don't seem to have taken very kindly to your appearance. Yeah, no shit. One in back matches the description of your quarry. Take care of these unfortunates, he says, backing out of the room. You can vaguely make out the silhouette as he retreats down the hallway and through a door to his left. Well, it's not every day we get people stupid enough to hand-deliver their valuables to us, grins one of the larger bandits, unsheathing a rusty blade. We'll be killing you now. Joke's on them. If you had any valuables, you wouldn't be down here in the first place. You're still going to be dead. Okay. And what we do is we follow the setup here, which I've already done this part, and I've put some of the stuff here. I have not put everything down for a few reasons, one of which is there aren't enough monsters, and I already explained that a little bit, that if I go through this door that I'd have them. The last time I played, everything was preset. You're not actually supposed to do that. In fact, you probably shouldn't even look at what's in the next rooms. But I do know that I have used up this entire set, and these are bandit warriors, so I am not too unhappy with the idea of trying to get through that door, even if it's kind of adding some information. Should I know what these rooms are? Yeah, you know, you really want to get the stuff that you need for the scenario. What would be a kind of cool way to do this is to have one page for each room that's revealed, and, you know, so you don't know what you're coming up against. It would make the game a little bit more difficult to play, though, because you'd have to go hunting for the pieces that you need for each additional room. And you kind of wouldn't want to know, hey, I need, you know, this many bandits and this many of that, because it would give you some additional clues as to what's available. Anyway, that's just some thoughts. I'm going to swap batteries. I don't know if I'm actually going to start tonight. It's fairly late, but we'll see. But he gave me a couple of pieces of what are probably very good advice, one of which is to pull down an app for Android. I have an Android tablet actually, but I'm okay with record keeping, so I don't think that's too much of a problem. And I got the reusable stickers, so you know, I'd rather do things on pencil and paper than use an electronic device. But the other was to look under the plastic, and I was kind of in the box. I was kind of surprised there was something here because this was not a brand new game. But there's this: open this envelope and you feel you deserve it. Well, I certainly don't right now, so we're just gonna put that back in the box. I figure I'll either have to have something fantastic happen or something devastatingly bad before I open that up. I sure don't deserve it now. I just started. So now, and these have been shuffled, so I'm going to start pulling these 2 per player and try to decide. Be the first to kill a monster during the scenario. He's unlikely to do that. Kill 1 or more elite monsters during the scenario. I don't know whether or not there are elite monsters. Be the first to kill a monster. I'm unlikely to be the first to kill a monster during this scenario. So I'm going to take this one. And then we'll go to Cragheart here. And remember, these are worth an advantage. Everybody should want these. I'm keeping them hidden, although ideally you'd want the rest of the party to get them too, sort of, maybe, kind of. Never allow your current hit point total to drop below half your maximum. Well, he's not a bad choice for that because he has a ton of hit points. Use no items during the snare. Oh, man. And that's 2 checks to get that. I can't resist. I'm going to actually keep these face up so that I can remember them. I can't resist the possibility of getting 2 checks, but it probably means one that I might be able to get. I'm not going to get, and I'm going to probably not get this one either. It will influence play, though. I have control of that. Take only short rests during this scenario. Ooh, maybe. Have 3 or fewer total cards in your hand and discard at the end of the scenario. That's very likely for her, so I'm going to take that because she doesn't have a very big deck to begin with. So most of her cards will be lost. Now, she's counting on recovering those lost cards, which is the problem with this. But I remember from the game that I played of it, it was hard to make your way through the scenario. Like, there was some question whether we would all make it through without running out of our decks, and we came pretty close to not, to at least some of us not having cards left and being knocked out. Now I have to make my choices as to where we start here, and some of that's affected by what cards we want to play. I'm pretty damn sure I want Cragheart up front. I'm pretty sure I want the Spellweaver behind him, but I've got to do a little bit of thought. I have some desire to try to get through that door, but I don't know how possible that is. Doors open up, I think, when you get next to them. Let me look that up, though. So you actually have to enter this space, which I'm planning on trying to doing with Cragheart. We'll see how much luck he has with this. And the Tinkerer has said, hey, let me go first. I have something good to do. I don't want you guys moving before I do it. So the other players, I think, are going to try to play for a higher initiative value, which means they'll go later in the round. You have to shuffle those monster decks, all of them. So I've shuffled everything. We have only one type of monster in play right now, which is the guards. Generic guards, all guards use the same deck, but not all guards have the same values. So these guys have 6 hit points each. That's going to be kind of tough. A movement of 3 and an attack of 2 without any range. The elite guard, there isn't any in this. There may be in later. So we reveal our card, and I'm just going to reveal the lead card. I think you actually reveal both in order that you can strategize with other people. He's got an 18, 70, 77. That's their initiative value. And the guards are going to have a 55. So his 18, he's going to be going first. And actually we can show everybody what we're doing in case that affects things. He doesn't have to take the 18 first. His intention is to use this as his attack and this as his non-attack. So I am going to do this. This will affect until the end of the round. Everybody's got a shield of 1. No, I don't think there's any marker for that. I just have to remember that the 2 adjacent allies to me have a shield of 1 right now. And I'll kind of put this here to remind me of that. Then the Toxic Bolt has an attack of 2 with a range of 3. 1, 2, 3. I could hit any of these, either of these guys. I'll shoot this one. Taking people off the corner seems like a good idea. I don't want to blast this off yet. And this card just gets discarded. It creates green mana. And we see what it does. Now, the monster does not have a shield, so I am hitting it with an attack of 2 plus nothing. So I do 2 hits on him. Get a couple hit markers to mark him down. I'm not sure what happens if you kill a monster. I was looking that up. I know it drops money, but there's something that you get as an advantage. Like there's some reason that you want to keep track of who's killing the monsters, but it's not for experience, and I don't know what it's for. And he gets a poison counter. Just one of these. Okay. At this point, number 18 went. We had the other numbers were 70 and 77. I didn't want to go first with him. So the monsters are going to go next. Now let's see what that poison does. All enemies add +1 to their attacks targeting the figure. If heal's used on it, the poison is removed and the heal has no other effect. Okay. I really ought to look up what happens when you kill a monster and why. Now, the monsters operate, I believe, in numerical order, but the elites go first. Their order was kind of randomized. So we'll see who goes where. This guy's first. He has a move of -1. Their base move is 3. Oh, the elites are slower. So he only gets to move 2. And he strengthens himself. Now he's going to pick a focus. Let's see who his focus is. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be this guy. So we're going to kind of clutter things up by making it kind of annoying that way. And he gets a strength. He gets advantage on all of its attacks at the end of its next turn. He'll lose that, so he's kind of dangerous, and they're all going to have this. They all use the same card. Okay, now I look for number 2, who's over here. He'll be doing the same thing. He'll move. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to block this off. Oh, I can't bust through. That's the problem. I was planning on trying to bust through that door. I'm not going to be able to, because I'm not moving fast enough. Okay, so he'll move up there. He gets to attack at +0. I have no advantages right now. I could use one of these, but we don't want to do that for various reasons. We have not done an attack with the monsters yet. Okay, so he's got an attack at 2. does one hit on this guy. And now I'm going to have to use these. That was pretty easy. We didn't use them in the game that I played, and we just kept track of it with paper or pips or something. I don't remember what. And now he also strengthens himself. This doesn't look good for me. Okay. Number 3. Jeez, I can't read. I think number 3's over here. Well, they're not that random. He also will target this guy. His move is 2 as well. He gets to take a swing and an attack. It's +0, +1. That is going to do 3 hits. And this is not going well for us. Good thing he didn't take the one that he can't go below half, because it looks like he's absorbing all the damage. And a strength marker. Now these strength markers, what do? They add 1 damage, I think. No, it adds an advantage to the attack. But because it's late in the action sequence, it doesn't happen this turn. Now I find number 4. Okay, I don't know which guy he attacks. I'm going to have to look up the priority of attacks there. With this rule book, no index. It has something like an index where it has pictures with page numbers on it, but it's not going to tell you the things I need to know, I think. For example, I wanted to look up the priority of attack. I found that. That's pretty easy, or I remember that actually. But I can't remember where the other thing is. And when you get to a 50-page rule book with lots of pictures and everything, it's hard for me to remember where to find things. Even if I've started playing it a lot, I'd be much better off with a good old wargaming rule book, SPI style, or gamers. Most others, I have more trouble. Avalon Hill's so-so. But yeah, most of the rule books I have a hard time finding things in. Victory games, pretty decent actually. Okay, but he's going to have to target him. So he comes in. He also has that 2 attack. He does 3 hits on him. I don't have anything that could come good of this. I think I screwed up strategically. No big shock there, but by standing forward and going late, I'm not getting the drop on these monsters and killing them, but I don't know that I could kill many of them. My critters, especially the Tinker, don't have a lot of firepower. He has a lot of stun power. And he actually went. Okay. That brings it to him. He has to move next. Now these wounds don't hurt him. Well, they do, but the nice thing is he's going to block him off. He could have gotten there otherwise. So that's another attack. And this one's at -1. That's going to hit for 1. And it should be a 4. And I think we're going to lose this scenario. And then the final guy, well, he'll target into there too. He can move there. He doesn't get anything. We should be putting strength markers on all these guys, though, which means they're going to be advantaged. And that's not good. That means they draw 2 cards and take the better of the 2 for the most part. Okay. Our next number was over here, 70. What do I want to do? Well, I have a move and an attack in both cases. And why did I do this? I'm not sure. So this one can attack a whole line of troops. So target all enemies in the path to the primary target. I have a range of 4, an attack of 3. This is very good. This one allows me to target up to 3 troops. Both create a color. There's already green there, so I'm more tempted to do this one. Why do I have the move? I don't know. Okay. I don't think I'd be able to line up 3 guys anyway. So I'm going to do the move and the attack. Well, if I move, I might be able to get down the whole line, right? So he has a move of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm not going to get a good line shot. Fuck me. Everybody's got a shield 1 up. He got hit by 2 things. So let's get him back up to 8. He got hit by 2 things. He goes up to 6. Let's not forget the things that we do to help ourselves. And that's hard for me. It really is. Let's make sure we also didn't do anything that gained us an experience point. I can discard this now. All the monsters have attacked. Technically it happens at the end of the round, but I would rather get it out of my hands. So I would rather do this one then, which allows me to target 3 enemies within 3, and I get experience for each one I target. Now this is going to destroy the card, well, lose the card. Movement of 4. I don't know that I really want to move, but then again, I don't know that I don't. Okay, let me hit, let's see, at 3 each. These guys have 6 hit points. That's really tough for me. I would like to kill this guy, actually. That seems more beneficial. So let's hit this side of things. I don't want to get close or I'll be penalized. I'm trying to remember if I draw for each attack or just once for the whole pile. I think I have to look that sucker up too for each. Okay. What am I trying to do? 3 or few total cards. Yeah, no items. Kill 1 or more elite monsters. Yeah, okay. Alright, so we're going to fire off at this guy who's the most injured of them with his poison. Actually, I'd like to clear the way. I don't know. If he goes out to the door, he has a physical attack. He wants green mana. We have green mana. That's probably what he's going to do. He's not going to fire this shield off. Oh shit, we lost. Crap. Okay, we gotta pause because unfortunately my camera zoom is broken. And it's very hard to unzoom it, and it's very easy to zoom way beyond where I'd like to. And that's what happened there. Okay, so he's got an attack that allows him to hit all adjacent enemies. So he'd like to be in the midst of a bunch of people. Now that attack is going to do, he's going to be up to 2 hexes away. He's going to be able to schwack just about everything. But adjacent allies take damage. So I may actually want to move first. I'm going to, let me see. Because he could move here. He's not going to be able to get everybody. That's the problem. But if he moves here, he can get all of these. Okay, I'm going to hit this squadron. And the first shot I'm going to take against the poisoned guy, who I may kill. And that may change some things. My base damage, I've already moved. My base damage is, doing this one. I don't generate yet. Is an attack of 3. I do no additional damage. So, but I hit him for 4, that's 6. I get a kill on him. Now, again, I have to find the rule. Guess all these are gone. But I believe a coin shows up here. Now it's not really as valuable to blast my way through it, right? Okay, let's go for this guy over here. I have a base damage of 3 on him. I double it, I do 6, I kill him. Well, that's pretty fortunate because he's one that would be hard to get. I'll put a coin there as well. We'll see what happens. And then the third one was going to hit over here. And this was the Bless card, so it goes away. It is not my natural double card. And base damage of 3, make it 4 on this guy. Give him a pile of these. All right. That is his turn, with a couple of little things left. This card has been destroyed. I'm going to put it face down up here. To remind me of that, this card is discarded, and I get 3 experience points for attacking 3 things. There we go. All right, now I gotta look to see if there's any advantage to killing monsters. I can't find anything. Ah, shit, my battery's not charging. This one didn't charge fully, as the intro didn't. I can't find anything about it. What I did find was you're supposed to track the casualties, etc. here. I find it easier to have them on the board, to tell you the truth. I can see where that would be annoying for some groups, but actually having the damage over here, I would find this kind of obnoxious comparatively. They definitely do spawn coins. I saw something where who gets credit for killing a monster? I don't know. You know what? Because of these. That's why. Because there's no general advantage to killing monsters. So I only have to worry about it because he has this and no one else does. All right, that puts us to our last guy. And I've got T going here. Which may make it hard. Target all adjacent enemies. Now this would be a discard card, but one of my cards is going to be a permanent loss. Up to 2 hexes away instead. All adjacent. Okay, I forgot to. This card had a red mana creation. Oh, these cards get damaged easily. Wow. They're thin. Luckily you don't shuffle them, but still, that is kind of annoying. That's one thing, the cards that would have stickers on them, you don't actually shuffle. I gotta go pour my tea. I don't want to lose 2 cards. I could, of course, discard a card, like one of this for a move 2, and therefore not discard it, but I like this attack here. I'm going to want to target up to 2 hexes away. Well, that's everybody, but I think I want to move first. Now, I don't have an easy move. I can't jump over other people. So I'll just move here. It discards this card. I'm going to have to be a little more careful about space. And then I do this attack 3. Now, I eat the green mana in order to trigger this, and everybody gets targeted for an attack 3. I'm not adjacent to any allies, so they won't get hurt, and then I'll be getting 2 victory points for this, but this card goes away. Okay, so the attack 3, let's start over here. That does 4 to him. Oh, he's dead. you know, getting rid of a fair number of them. And that puts a coin down. Now, ideally, I'd like to kill and then move into the space, but everybody had to do their movement for various reasons before they could kill anything. This one here, gonna attack 3. Ooh. Oh, this is a melee attack, so I'm good. I thought I was doing ranged attack. Okay, this is 3 times 2 does 6. I killed this guy. And that's a reshuffle, so it goes back in the deck. Attack 3 against this guy. I hope it was the right one. Oh, nothing happens. This is another reshuffle, so it always goes back in. Hitting the final, which is a ×2 with the reshuffle. And I killed this one. And I think I'm missing a coin. Let's get this coin down, and this coin. And that's essentially the end of the round. He's going to get his victory points. This card goes into the tossed pile, and if anybody was standing on a coin, they would grab it. Otherwise, nothing much really happens here. Thought something else was happening, but I'm wrong. Okay, that's right, something else does happen. This goes down. It's still available, but that's just, as it degrades, it doesn't become any weaker or anything, but after next turn, it'll be gone. So mana that you generate, your color magic, whatever, doesn't last very long. Now it's time to figure out another plan. And for this turn, you know, unless there's fast monsters here, we should be able to wipe him out before he does anything. We got out of that not too badly due to the defensive play that the Tinker did that I forgot about. Still not great, but not too badly. I think like 4 hit points total lost. And we have a lot of healing capabilities. But the thing is, we don't really want to open this door necessarily this round. But again, you kind of don't want to waste your turns. But any monsters, if we open the door, all the monsters get to, on the other side, get to do something. So we kind of want to hold off on that. Maybe grab some loot. But we got to make sure we kill him before the time is up. I think that's it for tonight. I was kind of hoping to get through the first room. When I saw how quickly everything dropped, I thought either I would be dead or then when I saw that my plans actually kind of were working, that maybe I would have the time, but I just don't have the energy to do another turn. So after a little bit of discussion, Tinker said, look, I got a loot, I could grab 4 of these, and then I can open the door, actually, if you guys can take out that monster. There was an agreement that that may be the best move forward. Now, we're going to have to do a rest at some point. We didn't do a short rest last time. I don't like short rests, especially when you don't have to do them because you lose a card to get whatever you get back. Well, there aren't, you know, everybody's got like 1 card in their discard pile, so they wouldn't gain anything from a short rest. They would just lose that card permanently, so we wouldn't do that right now. You kind of do it as your deck, as your hand depletes. But not having a hand sucks as well. One thing I'm finding is my Spellweaver doesn't have a lot of movement cards. I destroyed 1 and discarded another, so I've got kind of a problem in terms of how much movement I have available. Of course, I can always use them as move 2s, which I think is my plan. So let's turn over the lead cards. Is that what he meant? Yeah, okay. Everybody wanted to go kind of early compared to what they had. Ooh, he's going real fast. And then we've got our monster, who's way up at 70, so he's probably not going to get an action. All right, and reveal both cards. He actually had a faster card here. No, this is 91. Now I have to think about this because I don't remember what I was doing. I think this is the one I'm using as a move because I'm doing the attack. And he's doing this as a move, an attack. And he was doing this as the move. Oh fuck. He doesn't get a move. Shit, I screwed up. Okay. Well, I fucked up. I thought I was moving this. Son of a bitch. But my loot was a lower card loot. I guess I'll just discard the attack. Alternately, I can take the move, discard that, and open the door, which I think is best. I thought I had done the right thing, and now I can't make my promises, so I think we want to get the door open at this point. But I'm not positive, because there's more monsters on the other side, of course. Okay, so our lowest number is the 20 over here. He was using this as a move. He doesn't necessarily need to move right away because he's got the attack within range. He'll eat the color, which means he's doing an attack 3. I have range 3. Okay, so an attack 3, and we flip a card. We do 3 damage to it. And I don't care who it is now, because now I can track it all on one monster card. And when there were so many monsters, trying to track it on the card seemed like a pain in the ass. Okay. This card goes away into my discard pile. I get another point of experience. Wow, I've got a lot of experience here. I see. And now I was doing this as a move too. Well, I get to loot this. At least we get one of the money. I wanted to do this loot as a loot. Sucks to be me. Okay. Yeah, I could have done a heal or something. If I was knowing that I was moving. So this was just a screw up. Let me give myself a mulligan there because I'm really terrified of failing this. Let me see if I have a heal here that I think I did. I have this heal 3 that I would rather use. I would rather not waste an attack card because I think I'm going to need them. So I'll just put that here. I'll still go at rank 62 though. And this isn't the part of the rule book. See, you start making the rule book color, and I start trying to draw the cards out of it. Okay. I could do heal 3 to myself or to Cragheart. I would rather heal myself. I am allowed to do that even though it's ranged. So that's a discard. These are very fluid, so you got to be careful. They might go too quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is going to activate everybody. What it does is it flips, I guess this is the open door. Flips this open, and now we have to take a break and pull out the rest of the monsters and draw a card for them because there's new monsters showing up. So now the remaining thing that has to be done, set these guys up. A couple of elite monsters, so he'll have a chance to get his bonus there. Anything that has to be done is we draw the archer card. 16's already gone, so they get to go. Okay, and they have a move +1 and an attack +1. Well, I gotta be careful here. Get this out of the way. Banded archers. They both are going to have move 2s. And they have ranges up to 5 for the elites. Okay, so the archers go first. At this point, they jump in because we're looking at a 29 here. So they have a move +1, and I said move 2, move 3. The elite goes first, 1, 2, 3. He's heading towards that. Okay, that's great. I think he can shoot through his buddy. He's got a range 5 attack. Yep, that'll work here. And his base is 3, -1 is 2. Let's see what happens. +2 is 4 hits on our Tinker. Well, good thing he healed. 7, 6, 5, 4. Because he's not in good shape. The other 2 archers also have a movement of 3, but their range is only 4. I don't know what the numbers are on these. That's 5. That's 4. 1, 2. Now, if I move here, I kind of block that guy off, and I think I'm allowed to do that. Except, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Not really. But okay, and neither of them are in range to shoot, which is kind of a bonus because otherwise I'd probably be dead. Okay, but I'm going to have trouble against him. So, well. And I think once you're knocked out, I don't think you can be revived. I have to look that up. Last person going is this guy. He has a move 2. All adjacent enemies, allies and enemies suffer a damage. And he's got this attack where he could push the enemy to where he's not next to him. I don't know how much value there is to any of that. I think I'm going to move to here. I do a point of damage to him. So now he's taken 4 of his 6. And that creates some green mana, which I can't use right away, and now I do an attack 3 with a push 1, and I'd get a bonus if I shoved him onto an obstacle, including a victory point or experience point. Seriously, I don't have any of these flipped. Must have had a reshuffle or something. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I don't see it. So the attack's a 3. No. Hope for the best. We do 2. That'll kill it off. I never had to face any of those strength markers. A coin shows up there. There's never time to loot, though. Your decks are so small, or your hands are so small, that you can't really take the time to grab, to pick up all the coins. And you don't get to do it at the end of the scenario either. You just have one turn. You have the end of the round that you win the scenario, if that's the case. We're not done yet, though. Although all the players have taken their turns. We still have the remaining guard left. And he has a move -1, attack +1, which doesn't sound good. And he's elite. His move is 2. Well, that's good enough to get him there. His attack's a 4. -1 is 3 hits. We have knocked the Tinker down to 1. And life does not look good. End of round. I gotta consider whether anybody wants to do a short rest. I also have to make sure I didn't lose experience. So he, I think, got an experience I didn't track, right? Yeah, I didn't give him. Oh no, he doesn't get his experience because he didn't push the guy. He didn't push the guy into an obstacle, which seems to be the requirement on this. You may push it in each case. In each case, destroy the obstacle. The target suffers 2 damage and you gain 1. It doesn't sound like each case. It sounds like in that case, but the wording in these is pretty iffy, and I don't know why they would clump it together in quite that way instead of just giving you a victory point or experience point right off the bat. So, the only person collecting experience so far is our mage. Yeah, I gotta think about healing.